I'm an idiot. Hello, welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. I've been sitting here talking at the computer for the past 10 minutes without realizing that I never actually said started the stream. I opened up OBS and I forgot to hit the start stream button. So, the stream's going to be very short because it was already going to be late. And it was already late and yeah, that kind of sucks. But So, sounds fun. I'm gonna, hang with you guys for a little bit. I guess I feel like that's a sign. Okay. So that's fun. Alright, uh-huh. Okay, sorry, I'm hiccuping. Hi! Good morning. It is afternoon. Ooh, wow, I'm hiccuping. It is afternoon at this point. Yeah. It is afternoon. It is 2:26, actually. And I am... Welcome to the stream. I slept through the beginning of when the stream was supposed to be, and then spent 5 minutes talking at the computer as if I were streaming when, I hadn't been actually streaming. So, you know, it's craziness. And I have to go to work at some point, but I did want to stream for a little bit. Oh, check this out, though. I got a copy of Forgotten Realms Cult of the Dragon, an AD&D copy, so old school. It's pretty cool. It was a present, it was part of the, St. Jude giveaway. I didn't mean to, send that much cash in, but I kept, donating little bits and chips throughout the weekend because, it was St. Jude's. It's a good cause. You want to help the kids, and also it's, exciting to gather that all up. But I'll read the back, actually. No longer can members of one of the most infamous clandestine organizations in all the realms lurk in their comfortable shadows. No more can these men, women, dragons, dragon liches, and others scheme to subjugate all that is good and true while the rest of Faerun waits unaware. For centuries has the evil secret society founded by the Mad Mage and Chosen of Mystra, Samister, labored secretly. Well, no more. This 128-page book lays bare the secrets of Samister and the secret society he created over 400 years ago. Herein is written the story of Samister's life, his triumphs, his ultimate fall from grace, along with the history of the cult of the dragon, beginning with its foundation based on an obscure line in the Tome of Ancient Prophecy. Learn of the cult's most powerful current cells, their leaders, the dragon, and dragon liches that work with them, or for them, and their goals. Discover the many foes of the cult has earned over the 4 centuries of treachery and insidious, malevolent dealings. Also included are the details of some spells and magical items of the cult and its dragons and dragon liches, including the one item that no cult member will ever admit the existence of, much less claim to possess. Read about the many magical variant and hybrid creatures that the cult uses to exercise its will across the face of Faerun. And finally, decide the best way to incorporate the cult into a Forgotten Realms campaign by browsing the numerous adventure hooks for just the right scenario to tempt and terrify players of any gaming style. So, it's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, there's the complete book of necromancers. Pages from the Mages. Oh, the Player's Handbook. Okay. And then... Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So... This is... Let's see. Simister was a brilliant wizard whose career featured many discoveries and advancements, some say appropriations and misuse, in the field of metamagic. Incantrixes, in particular, feel he stole a lot from the school of incantation. The metamagic spells listed here are rare in modern Faerun. Metamagic is not a recognized school of magic by any means, but a philosophical grouping of spells that affect other magical spells, items, or effects. As such, some of the spells below are noted as belonging to the metamagic school. Most qualify as alteration magic. For the purposes of comparison, so this is a whole separate set of than the usual, because alteration is no longer one of the schools of magic. So I still remember them by the Jailcat song. Honestly, the schools of magic, but what evocation elements to burn and shock and freeze your friends. Necromancy spares the dying, or you could just resurrect them. Abjuration keeps you safe and almost make your armor fair. Divination lets you sense, detect, commune, and talk to bears. Conjuration portals and make stuff for free. Transmutation, turn things into other things. What the other one? The rest of them, I know Dunamancy was the last one. War magic is like tank mage, getting lots of defense, flexing as you cast. I know Dunamancy wasn't in there, but I added it. No, invisible and... Okay, wait. Whatever invisibility is. Okay, now I have to look up what school invisibility is, because if I know that... It goes invisible in war magic. Yes, so... it was... Illusion. And illusion. There's illusion... Oh, what other ones? Learn, go invisible, and war. Yeah, so. Oh, vision. No. And illusion. Visual tricks to prank the mind and blur and go invisible and war. Magic is like tank mates, getting lots of defense, flexing as you cast. And then I put Dunamancy in somewhere around there. Alright, but my point is alteration magic is not one of them. But it was in a D&D, so... And metamagic is, instead of the sorcerer's kind of bread and butter, it was not a school of magic, but how they called it, a philosophy of magic. For purposes of comparison, the symbol and elements are modern-day masters of the metamagic school of thought. And examples of their powers in this area of magical research include the symbol's spell sequencer, spell trigger, spell supremacy, and Duaminer, the Sage of Shadowdale's spells, Elminster's evasion, and effulgent operation. And then the hero's lore book for details on these spells. Well, I don't have a copy of that, so... Also incorporated to the list and the spell descriptions below are many of the necromantic spells Elminster created after his fall from grace with Mystra. While his drive to create was not lessened, his determined mind turned to ever more depraved fields of interest. Many of the necromantic spells below are a result from Elminster's insane but insightful research into necromancy and, ultimately, led to turn into his discovery of the process of creating dragon liches. Okay. Dragon liches are terrifying, I will admit. Sinister's known spells can be found in the book he wrote as he went about creating his cult, called the Tome of the Dragon. Magical items below for details on this grimoire. Copies of the book have been disseminated to all cult cells and many individual members of the cult of the dragon. However, none of these copies exactly duplicate the original due to scribal errors and decisions about the relative importance of various sections made by particular cells. DM may make certain spells that are listed here unavailable or judge that they do not function properly or at all due to copying error at their discretion. Basically, GM discretion. Sinister himself may have devised other magics that he did not entrust to the pages of the original Tome of the Dragon, though that work is believed to be comprehensive. Nevertheless, most of the following spells are available to cult wizards. Oh, so if you murder a cult wizard, they'll basically have, and you can get a copy of this. If the DM doesn't want you to have any spells that could be copy error, it doesn't work. Okay, that makes sense. A list of more commonly known spells is given first, followed by a detailed description, in AD&D game terms, of the less well-known and unique spells. So let's see. The common spells are found in the source as given in the parenthetical notes of the spells level in schools. Like the complete book of necromancy, pages from the mages, player's handbook, tome of magic. So basically, if it's found in another D&D book, they don't put it in here, they just list it. In addition to those spells from the player's handbook, specifically noted below, most other necromancy spells from that work can be deemed to have been included in the original Tome of Dragons. Alacrity, Animate Dead Animals, Augmentation 1, Augmentation 2, Bind Undead, Bone Dance, Chain Contingency. Oh, that's a 9th level wizard spell. Evocation Metamagic, Tome of Magic. I think I have. Because that sounds really cool. And Chain Contingency sounds really cool. And I want to check it out. Hang on. Give me half a sec. Master's Guide. Monster Manual. Secrets of the Bone. Ooh, right. I don't have Tome of Magic. What I have is Unearthed Arcana. So, that's gonna have to... I want to see Unearthed Arcana, because this is AD&D, I believe. Advanced Dungeons, yeah, so Unearthed Arcana is not listed here, so I don't know if any of these spells got in there. Well, hang on. That one was copyright 98, ready? This one was copyright... if it was copyrighted after 1998, you can check this. 85. Okay, so this one's 85, 1985, and this one is. You ready? I actually am doing things here. We're digging into AD&D lore, I guess. It's a very chill thing to do today. I think that's fun, and enjoy that. Copyright 1998. Yep, so this is a little older, but Unearthed Arcana is not listed as a source here. I want to see if they have a spell. Well, of course, I don't know what order they're all listed in here. Because if Chain Contingency, just Illusionist spells, which is an evocation spell, do we have a table of contents? This is an important question. We do. Character abilities, races, class, cavaliers, money for cavaliers, equipping character, character spells, spell tables, cleric spells, druid spells, magic user spells. Okay, 51. Oh, right. This is a little... Alright, well, let's go to 51. This is... first level. Personal cantrips. B. 1B. When this cantrip is used, the caster summons a honeybee from someplace. Hi! Ah, yes. References. Hello. Welcome, Sig. Check this out. I have AD&D, and then I have 2 AD&D books. I don't think it's... Well, I could check in here, actually. Boom, boom, boom. The adventure illusionist spells. A second level, you said? I don't think it's there, but we'll see. First, Phantom Armor. The spell is cast. The illusionist creates a quasi-real suit of plate mail. The semi-illusory material covers the subject and actually gives some real protection, unless... Oh, I see. Not a book I have. The opponent actively disbelieves in the armor. Saves versus the spell. So you have to make a spell save to disbelieve, and if you disbelieve, it doesn't work. Or also dispel illusion or dispel magic is cast upon it, or a wand of negation affects it. Until dispel magic is cast upon it, or a wand of negation affects. Until gone or disbelieved, the armor protects the wearer as if he or she were wearing plate mail. Which is in armor class 3 and armor type 3 as well, which is very different from the modern armor class system, so I don't know how much protection it gives, but I would say probably the same amount as plate mail usually gives non-magical plate mail, which is, what, AC plus... let's see. For each level the spell cast, the Phantom Armor will absorb 1 point of damage delivered by a blow which would otherwise have hit the armor class 3. Okay. When the Phantom Armor is absorbed as many points of damage as the spellcaster has levels of experience, it is dispelled and vanishes. So, it protects against, gives you, bumps up your armor class, and if it hits, it absorbs the damage. It would have hit armor type, otherwise hit armor class 3. So even if it would have hit you, even with the higher AC, it absorbs the damage until it can no longer absorb damage. So, that's pretty cool. Additionally, Phantom Armor allows a bonus of +1 on saving throws versus all attack forms, which would be similarly modified by magic armor. The armor in no way affects the movement or spellcasting abilities of the wearer, so that's pretty cool. It is subject to rust. It is not subject to rust monster attack, and if a rust monster attacks and it doesn't do anything, it might enhance disbelief. The spell will not function with any other form of magical protection. The material component is a small plate of mithril with a 10 gold piece value, which disappears when the spell is cast. Ooh, it can 10 gold pieces isn't so bad. So it consumes the spell component. That sucks. What are you gonna do? Being a wizard is expensive. Well, illusionist is slightly different, but second level illusion, whispering wind. Nah. But spook. A spook spell enables the illusionist to play upon the natural fears. Okay, so I guess we're just reading second edition or AD&D, so like first edition spells, but they're actually really interesting. So I'm in accordance with the good vibe today, because I started late and I probably am going to end relatively early because I have to, I do have to go and get ready for work, and but employment is useful and money is helpful, and today's been a disaster stream, but this is kind of fun and I'm going to vibe with it. So we'll do that. I'll try to turn at a certain better angle so you can see less of the top of my head. Hopefully, if I put the book like this, it doesn't show as much at the top of my head when I read. Let's see. Rainbow, dim, haze, mask. We said alter. Okay, spook. Yeah, it's a little better in terms of you guys looking at me. Let me know if you guys want to do something different besides vibe to AD&D spells. Because if you want to do something different, we can. It was really cool, and then there was that one, and they Chain Contingent was the 9th level wizard spell, right? Hang on. We're checking this. Let me check this out. Wizard 6, Chain Contingency is Wizard 9th. So I want to see, I don't think it's in here because this is an older version, so it doesn't have it in here, which is a shame because magic users 4th level, let's see, 8th level, okay. Ooh, telekinetic sphere. Alright, we have They are very cool and fluffy, but I feel like there's some sort of story significance that I'm not getting. Like, they're well drawn, they're pretty, and, well, not pretty exactly, but, they're good-looking wolves in terms of artistic, interpretation. But I don't know, I feel like there's some sort of weird story reason, like, that they were SIGs, or, that's, I feel like there's a story significant that I'm not getting, you know what I mean? They are fearsome-looking beasts. And I would not want to be on the teeth end of one of them, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's a story significance. Schwarzwalde. And who is Schwarzwalde? Okay, let's see. Crystal, energy drain, disjunction, Suker. Sig killed him, and now his wolves are up and about, causing... Oh, okay. That's a whole thing that I didn't realize happened to Sig. Okay. Okay, good to know. Here. There are 4 9th level spells in this book. As such, they don't even have their own page in the thing, because they just go, it's, half of them are on, they're on the page with the illusionist cantrips. But, dower of the spell causes metal, whether as soft as gold or as hard as adamantine. Oh. Interesting. And then eventually she managed to kill him and escape, from what I'm gathering, although his wolves are still around, which suggests maybe not so dead? So sword, metal shield, metal armor, or even an iron golem can be changed into a delicate glass-like material easily shattered by a forceful blow. Furthermore, this change is unalterable short of means of a wish spell. Dispel magic will not reverse the spell. This one is irreversible by dispel magic. So as long as you don't, unless it gets counterspelled while it's being cast, it's a 9th level, but frickin' cannot be undone except by a wish spell. That's powerful stuff. I don't even think True Polymorph has that. Well, we always argue about whether, I think Dispel Magic does. I don't know if Anti-Magic Fields do. Reverse True Polymorph, we've had this argument about it because, it was a whole thing. Also, my hair looks nice now. It doesn't look kind of crazy on the sides. I got an actual barber to do it, and it looks good now, so, fun stuff. Caster must physically touch the target item, equal to a hit in combat if the item is being worn or wielded, or is a monster. Any single metal item can be affected by the spell. Thus, a suit of armor being worn by the subject can be changed to crystal, but the subject's shield would not be affected, or vice versa. Any item... all items gain a saving throw equal to their magical bonus value or protection. Armor class are +1 or +3 sword, we get a 10%, average of the 2 pluses, chance to save. A +5 magic armor, a 25% chance to be unaffected. And, so it's a 5% chance. Yeah, I know. It looks good. The guy's name was Mo. He did a really good job. Gotta look good. I'm going off, getting all gussied up to go and congratulate the young bride soon, so I gotta look good. So it's a 5% chance or +5 magic armor, 25% chance to be unaffected. Iron Golem, a 15% chance to save, for it is only hit by magic weapons of +3 or better quality. Okay. Artifacts and relics of magic metal have a 95% chance to be... Okay, so, like, artifact level stuff's 95% chance. Affected items are not immediately protected will be shattered and permanently destroyed if struck by a normal blow from a metal tool or any weighty weapon, including a staff. Oh, wow. I mean, I do look pretty good. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm not level... I don't know if I'm level 5. I count as level 5 just yet. But if you marry yourself, it's a dangerous precedent, because then you're, like, I think it was Stephen Colbert who said, if you allow self-marriage, then, you know, you're sitting on the couch and you're like, well, why haven't you married me yet? And you're like, well, I don't know. We've been together for, 20 years now? Well, yeah, so marry me already. And you just kind of have to, you can't really argue with the logic, you know what I mean? So, Sucre. It's a ninth level wizard spell. The same as the 7th level cleric spell of the same name. Cast by a magic user will teleport without error, the individual breaking the object and speaking the command word. Oh, wow. So it's risk-free teleportation. Exactly. You know? Just not ready to that kind of commitment. If the reverse is used, the Archmage is likewise brought to the presence of the individual. Unlike the cleric spell of the same name, the summoned Archmage has no choice than to answer the summons, making this version of the spell rare indeed. 9th level rare. Intervening planes have only a 1% chance each, cumulative, of causing irrevocable loss of the individual or spellcaster involved in the sucre. So there's a 1%, you roll on the percentiles, and there's a 1% chance if there's a couple of planes between you that, or 1% for each plane, that you're just not existent. You get stuck somewhere in between and you're just, nope. Yeah, I had to kill off a couple of my players' pets today, and I felt really, really bad about it. But some of them survived, so, and I did allow for a medicine check on Acorn, and it was, she rolled a 19, our cleric rolled a 19, and I had set the DC at 20, but I let it happen at a 19, and so Acorn did survive, but Tom and Lynn, I was like, you gotta choose one of them. Tom, Lynn, and Acorn were right in the blast radius, and they didn't get protected, they have no protection, they are dead unless you get to pick one of them to roll a nice high medicine check on, but the other two are beyond, because it was like 3 times their hit points. They were they're small. For all their giant rats, they're weak little things. Bucky's level 2. That's the reason he took the full force of the blast. Well, no, he saved. He saved and managed to survive anyway, but because he was a little hardier. Let's see. The material component used must be a gem material of not less than 5,000 gold pieces value. Okay. Whether it is a faceted gem or not is immaterial. So it just has to be really fancy, expensive gem. It doesn't have to be carved well, but it has to be valuable in and of itself. The components can only be enchanted once per month, usually on the night of a clear full moon. Oh, so you have to wait till the full moon. At that time, the object is set for the type of sucre and its final destination, either the location of the spell's casting or an area well known to the mage. I wouldn't do that. I love those rats. I didn't want to do Cone of Cold on them either, but he was panicking and caught in a corner and, was of course going to pull out his heavy level spell, and he had it prepared, and I was just like, how mean should I be? And then, do it. And I'm like, okay. So, and our cleric even went up to heal the 2 rats who were dead, even though she, even though Kirilum knew it wouldn't work, because he was like, he wanted to show the other little rats that it was okay, that he wanted to show the other rats that he couldn't saved their 2 dead siblings, which just right in the feels. But yeah. Disjunction. This is freaking 9th level spells are powerful. By casting a spell, the magic user opens a channel between the planes she's on and the negative material plane. The caster becoming the conductor between the 2 planes. As soon as they touch equal to a hit if melee is involved, any living creature, the victim loses 2 energy levels, as if struck by a specter. Oh. A monster loses 2 hit dice permanently, both for hit points and attack ability. Character loses levels, hit dice, and hit points. The ability and abilities permanently until regained through adventuring, if applicable. So if you lose levels that way, you have to go and actually do experience, do stuff to gain experience and get your levels back. The material component of the spell is essence of specter or vampire dust. Preparation requires 3 segments. The material component is then cast forth. Upon touching the victim, the magic user speaks the triggering word, causing the downward to take effect instantly. There's always a 5%, 1 in 20, chance that the caster will also be affected by the energy drain. So if you roll a 1, you're screwed. And lose 1 energy level at the same time the victim is drained of 2. Humans and humanoids brought to 0 energy level by the spell become juju zombies. Okay. So basically, if you touch anyone of... Oh. No. They're probably going to get funerals or something. It's a lot, okay? These rats are... I, as the DM, am more shaken up about having to do this than the players are. But, like... because they always just go for the monster, and I knew I was putting them in risky place, but... You know, but any 1st or 2nd level character automatically becomes a whatever juju zombie. And if you have another way to drain energy, do energy drains. That's an interesting question. If you have another way to do energy drains, compost, not eat them. But if you had another way to do energy drain, you could drain the energy down until their 2nd level, then apply this one, and then get your zombies out of them. That's pretty cool. Disjunction. All magic and or magic items within the radius of the spell, except those on a person of or being touched by the spellcaster, are disjoined. That is, the spells being cast are separated into their individual components, usually spoiling the effect as does a dispel magic, and permanent and magic items must likewise save versus the spell if actually cast on a creature or versus a dispel magic otherwise, or be turned into normal items. Even artifacts and relics are subject to Mordenkainen's disjunction, although there is only a 1% chance per level of the spellcaster of actually affecting such powerful items. Thus, all potions, scrolls, rings, rods, et al. Miscellaneous magic items, artifacts and relics, arms and armor, swords, and miscellaneous weapons within a 3 within 3 inches of the spellcaster can possibly lose all their magical properties when Mordenkainen's disjunction is cast. Destroying artifacts is dangerous business and a 95% likely to attract the attention of some powerful being who has an interest or connection with the device. Additionally, if the artifact is destroyed, the casting magic user must save versus spell at -4 or permanently lose all spell casting capabilities. Okay, so you have a chance if you destroy an artifact, which is a 1% chance per caster level that this actually works. But if it does, because, you know, if it does work on this artifact, someone powerful is bound to notice, such as a deity who enchanted it, and therefore not someone you want to mess with. And you have to save at a -4. Oh, hi. Grandma, Tikov 94. Hey, that's the year I was born. I don't think I'm gonna end up buying few followers or viewers because I appreciate the offer and all that, but I like when people actually be interested. I figured it was a scam link. I wasn't gonna click it, but I still like to say hi and oh, also, hi Nova. Welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. She, her vibes today, but here they is fine. I'm pretty, but this bot is here too, viewing, and as long as it's not, it can make whatever offer, as long as it's not being racist or an asshole to my people, it can sit in the chat and try to convince me to buy followers and hang out. I don't mind, per se, I'm not going to click the link, obviously, but, the bot can hang out in the chat. I don't mind. I mean, I'm giving the bot as much information as I give you guys. Anyone who watches the stream knows that my name is Lee and that I'm up in the air about pronouns and this is what I look like and might be able to deduce my location in eastern part of the United States. I think I named one of them was live from Needham, so if anyone had wanted to do something stupid, they would have known what town I was in. I mean, I'm not... I don't know. Oh, okay, well, 1994 was a good year, okay? And, it has the same thing as me. So, that's true. Now you all know I'm born in 1994, in case you want to leverage that against me in some way. Although, I don't think the year has any official... I mean, I guess if you remembered and then remembered my birthday, you could pretend to be me by using birthday, which is a big identifier, but, usually you need more than just knowing someone's birthday to impersonate them, and honestly... Also, hi! Welcome to the stream, by the way. You are new. Today we are doing a D&D. So I was gifted this. Actually, we got distracted. I was actually going to do... It's the Cult of the Dragon. It's a forgotten... Well, welcome! Always very fun to have new people. So, we got gifted this Cult of the Dragon one. I don't know if you know... True, yes, is 104. But she's also metahuman, so she doesn't age. So she probably doesn't have achy joints and back pain from, all that. And all that jazz. But I was gifted this, I don't know if you know Lord Gazumba, who is a... Good, I'm glad. Vibe checks are important. I'd like to think I passed vibe check. I am not always the best at those, though. But I'm glad I passed vibe check, so... Yeah, I try to give off good vibes. But Lord Gazumba, who is a Greyhawk, I don't know how much you know about Dungeons and Dragons, but okay, yeah, but that was supernatural events. That wasn't normal age-related stuff. That was getting your arms ripped out by a tentacle monster. That's a different story. But, oh, right. So, Lord Gazumba ran a fundraiser for St. Jude's, trying to raise money for St. Jude's, which was, helping kids with cancer receive treatment they need, which is all well and good and is a great charity. And so everyone who donated a certain amount, I think, and I was I threw in 5 tier 10 there throughout the weekend because it was this big weekend, lots of streams. Everyone was, it was a whole big thing. And, everyone was, I think there was a certain donation threshold and he got, Lightning Source, I think it was, the printing company, who makes OPE? Who's OPE? I think I'm missing something. Whew. I'm sure it's... Oh. Oh. Ah, yes. Minnesota. I've never been to Minnesota. I haven't even been through it. I've been through a lot of states I kind of went through on my way across the country. I did not go through Minnesota. I have some friends there, but never been there. I'm sure it's, nice, and from what I hear, it's pretty okay. Wait. Hang on, I had... Wow. Okay. Dragon, let's just wait. Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I grew up in New England, so it's not that cold, but it's cold. And I thrived there, so I can deal with the cold a little bit. Although, when it does get icy, that's the main problem is the ice. And then I have to tell Addie, I miss her. She's an awfully good girl. But she loves to run. She loves the snow, and she just wants to run, like, as fast as she can through the cold. And I'm just like, no, puppy. I am twice as old as you have, and I have half as many legs. You cannot, just don't, I gotta. Oh, that's true. Right, because at a certain point, the snow just doesn't stick. It's just too cold. Right. I think I knew that. It's just, it snows, and then it gets that cold, and then you're just like, okay, this is not fun. But, what was I? It's actually getting warm here. Fun fact. I'm in New York now, and it's not the city, but near it. And it's getting kind of warm. Not like warm, but it's starting to warm up. Although the problem with that is it gets much colder at night, and I have to walk home at night. So I'm on my way to work, and it's not so bad. And then, or at least walk to the bus, And I'm like out going to the bus stop in the first, and it's not even that bad. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then then I try to go home, and it's not even cold. It's just windy, and there's just wind, and I'm just like, why did I think it wasn't going to be cold? Why did I do this? It's freezing, and then I have to walk, a mile to the bus stop because freaking the bus that goes right past where I work stops running at 7 p.m., so I'm out. I have to go to the other bus for a different route and just walk, and it's cold and miserable, and but yeah, Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it was maybe 40 degrees, not even freezing, but the wind was bad, and it kept blowing my hood off, and I didn't have so my ears were out, and it was just cold, and, and the mask was cutting at my ears, and but I survived, made it home, did a very short stream, got peer pressured into going right into another stream, and we did a little bit of a stream, a bit of typing up. Okay, minus 40 is not 40 degrees is bad. Not bad. Minus 40 is not cool. I think it didn't get down to past 8 to 10 degrees here, so actually reasonable. Cold. Still, well, not colder than you want to be out in, but not that bad. So my point on, sorry, I get very I think I even have, this is my one chat command that I actually put. I suppose I should put others as well. Yeah. I get very easily distracted by pretty much anyone in chat, which I don't think that's a discouragement. I love hanging out with people in chat. That's why I stream, is so I can talk to people in chat and hang out. But yeah, so I get very easily roped into secondary discussions and then lose track. But I was streaming. My point on all of this was cold and wind and Minnesota, and I thought OPE stood for something instead of OPE. But right, because I thought maybe you knew SIG from some sort of cool, epic artist community, other than just both being from Minnesota. But I was doing Cult of the Dragon and Epic, because it's really cool, and I got it as a present because the St. Jude's fundraiser, right? You see, I remember these things. And I got the this really cool Epic book. So my plan was to kind of, read from it, talk about it. Like, okay, here we go. We got Dragon Liches of Note. Because, which, let's see, it starts with page 38. Which is really cool. Here, check it out. I'm going to read from here. If you guys are okay with that. If you guys want to do something else, like, would rather do Warhammer 40k, for example, or, would rather do character creations or setting notes or anything else, if you wanted me to start from the very beginning or read other flavor text, let me know. Because I do these streams Fridays, for those who don't know, are kind of my chill, whatever is vibing kind of day. I put up the it's on the other side, notebook, because I do a lot of world building or character creation, and so I usually I started taking notes in. Whoa! Careful! Don't lose your things. This notebook, which had a cover and a back cover when I started streaming, and now doesn't. So I've been typing it up as I go along, so that as the pages fall out, they're already typed up, so I don't lose them permanently or anything. So some days I do type up streams, but I stopped taking notes in the notebook because it is falling apart and I have to type them up anyway. So I might. Oh wait, I forgot about that. There's a random woman. But yeah. I used to have a dice cam. I'd do all these random roll tables, and I do, just not on Fridays. Fridays are fun, random other stuff day. Sometimes I do Thirsty Sword Lesbians on Fridays. Sometimes I do Brancalonia, which is this 5e supplement that's really cool. Today we're doing Cult of the Dragon because I just got it, and I thought it sounded interesting. And then on Mondays I do Greyhawk. Tuesdays... Actually, new friend, I have to ship you off to, hang on. Let's see. If you want to come, you don't have to, no pressure, but, no, not that. Wrong one. Thank you. Okay. I probably should have but I'd have to keep resetting it every time the link reset. Basically, I have a Discord for shenanigans. I post the schedule. Yes, I know. Pipe down. I post my schedule there about when I'm streaming. I mostly follow it. Like, I was supposed to start at 1:30 today. We didn't start until 2:15, but then I ended up not starting until 2:20 because I forgot to hit the button that was streaming. But yeah, I usually it's fun. We have a meme channel, and I post writing prompts and random stuff occasionally. It's still a work in progress, but at the very least, you'll get fun memes and know when I'm streaming. So there's that. Oh, right. I was going to do Dragon Liches of Note. Essentially, I just got to keep an eye on the time. I think I did, actually. Let's see. Did I? Yeah, it expires. Never. Huh. Okay. I thought I had it set to never, but apparently I had it set to 7 days, and that's why they kept expiring. That actually makes some sense. Because then I could probably mount it in a Discord command if I were very clever with that. I mean, I did. I managed with the distraction one. But yeah, the Discord is fun. At the very least, they try to at least post fun memes there occasionally, like a couple every day, just for funs. And there's other stuff. There's a whole list of links and cool stuff, and it's basically a vibe. If you want to hang out, although you might be more of a vibe than that. 3 dragon liches of note. Later in this chapter's list of the known dragon liches and cult-affiliated dragon is presented. Elsewhere in this book, Magic and Monsters of the Cult chapter is a selection of dragon spells that dragon and dragon liches may cast. These magical capabilities should be kept in mind when facing any of these fearsome creatures. Ooh, they have pronunciation guides. Gotta love pronunciation guides. Orglo Oasa. Here, I'll spell it. Here's what we can do with here, because I have it here. We're going to go like this. And then I'm going to do Times New Roman, because I don't really like Kilbrini, but it decided that it was going to be like the... Orglor... Oasa. Orglo Oasa. That's how it's spelled. They have a pronunciation guide too. Orglor Oasa is a dragon lich who was a venerable shadow dragon before her transformation. She claims the lost dwarven city of Thunderholm in the southern Thunder Peaks as her subterranean domain, and Sembria and southern Dale Lands as her sphere of influence. The Sibilant Shade, her common appellation, has dwelt amidst the ruins of the legacy dwarven halls for over 3 centuries, as a dragon lich for 28 years. That's 48. Okay. And is well ensconced in her domain. Orglor Oasa is an nihilist, a specialty priest of Null, the Death Worm, and she is obsessed with her research into death, undeath, necromancy, and shadow magic. The Sibilant Shade considers herself the Deathworm's most devout follower, and her transformation into a dragon lich was well nigh inevitable. It is Orglor Oasa's ardent wish that she become Null's consort, and a demi-power in her own right, in the not-too-distant future. Toward this end, the great shadow dragon lich aspires to bring a large swath of Faerun under her shadowy aegis and create a draconic theocracy in the name of the Night Dragon. The Sibilant Shade is a gigantic representative of her former species, and she's extremely vain. The slow decay of Orglor Oasa's physical form is the one drawback she sees in dragon lichdom. Orglor Oasa employs a combination of preservative spells and carefully crafted illusions to maintain a lustrous living sheen to the translucent night-black cloak that is her form. One example of the worm's obsessive fastidiousness is the fact that she has carefully removed and stored every single scale that she has shed in her entire life or unlife. Yeesh. While neither cowardly nor resigned to fate, Orglor Oasa chooses to operate exclusively from the shadows, a sinister, brooding puppeteer, and seeks only small, gradual shifts in the flow of events. She is well aware that immortality, in both life and death, is earned on a daily basis. Okay, hang on. Let me tweak this slightly so I can see the chat. Because you guys can pipe in if you have anything interesting you want to say. Orglor Oasa displays morbid fascination with the cataclysmic and subtle machinations of those she respects, including other dragons and powerful wizards and priests. and she will not engage in any action without first analyzing all possible modes of failure. It is because of this preoccupation, and not just her appearance, that Orglarosa is known to some dragon cultists as Old Doom and Gloom. Orglarosa has maintained a greater degree of anonymity than many of her peers thanks to her deliberate and cautious nature and her penchant for masquerading as her rivals. More than once she has inflicted a terrible punishment on a town in the guise of a rival. When, as a matter of course, the surviving townsfolk regroup and send out for experienced dragon hunters, the Sibilant Shade's deception ensures that it is the rival worm who draws the attention of their spells and blades. Orglarosa is a skilled and practiced linguist, despite the fact that she can communicate with any intelligent creature. And she is fascinated by recounters who can bewitch an audience with not but their voice. The voice of the shadows, as Orglarosa sometimes styles herself, derives great pleasure from transfixing lesser beings with her dragon fear and then slowly weaving a web of lies so tight that her victim's terror dissipates and his or tongue speaks of secrets held close to the heart. Ooh. She likes to mess with people's heads. That's interesting. The relationship between the Sibilant Shade and the Cult of the Dragon has woven over the course of decades-long alliances and rivalries. Orglarosa was located and approached by cultists from the Sembian cell of the Year of the Creeping Fang, 1305 DR, which I believe is some sort of reckoning for dates. In the wake of Arkandale Dragon War, described below, while her seduction by the cult was a relatively simple affair, Orglarosa had already decided to undergo the transformation and had deliberately left a trail of clues by which the cult was sure to locate her. The Sibilant Shade's success in extorting an exorbitant sum, even by the cult standards, from the wealthy Sembian cell before agreeing to the process, was succeeded in extorting a huge amount of money for something that she wanted anyway, just because she could. Orglarosa's shadowy touch was evident even as she underwent the transformation in the Year of Lurking Death, which is 1332. The great beast wisely bribed, blackmailed, and befuddled through enough of the participating cultists to severely weaken the magical bindings normally incorporated in the ceremony to ensure a Dragon Lich's continued involvement and assistance in the cult's stratagems. Ooh, she managed to throw him off. In the years following her transformation, Orglarosa has played both sides of the fence on countless occasions. Many times she secretly aided cult foes like the Zents or even the Harpers, so as to ensure a note of desperation when the wearers of the purple call for her assistance. The Shadowy Dragon Lich maintains a secret network of her own, both within and outside cult membership, to spy on and manipulate her putative allies and ensure that much of the organization that responds to her subtle touch. After the destruction of... Just keep an eye on things, sorry. After the destruction of 3 Sacred Ones in a debacle surrounding Sembian cult cells' efforts to acquire Spellfire, Orglarosa has emerged as the preeminent Dragon Lich in the Merchant Kingdom. After her instigation, the Wearers of the Purple have begun an extensive campaign to cultivate new candidates among younger evil dragons of the region. Orglarosa, of course, has ensured that that the list of candidates consists primarily of dragons she has already bound to her will through magic and obligations. Her lair is located in the southern Thunder Peak, several leagues north and west of Highcastle. The Sibilant Shade's hoard now occupies the throne room of the last regent of the Thunderhome, and the animated bones of those dwarves who failed to flee her wrath stand as skeletal sentinels in the fallen city, eternally serving their undying queen. The dwarven legends of Thunderhome speak of a city of the finest, noblest miners and metalsmiths in the realms. Dwarven lore states that the inhabitants of Thunderhome were favored by Dumathorn, keeper of secrets of the Undermountain, but in a single day the halls were emptied when the silent keeper swept the dwarves of Thunderhome away to live in paradise with him. The few dwarves who did not want to accompany the Dumathorn sealed the doors before they left, and the halls have never been disturbed. One mystery associated with the legend of Thunderhome has always been the fate of those dwarves who stayed behind, since they never arrived at any of the other dwarven halls. The truth behind this hopeful tale is horrific and rooted in the whisperings of Orglarosa. Oh, so there's this whole legend about how they all got taken away by the keeper of secrets, Undermountain. That's a tragedy. They have this brilliant, hopeful tale about how they were all taken away, and then it was just her. In the year of Darkstalking, 989 DR, Dwarven miners from a remote outpost of Thunderhome inadvertently broke into Orgloroasa's lair and roused the very old Shadow Dragon from a decades-long sleep. Orgloroasa quickly dispatched the startled Dwarven miners and then cleverly caved the tunnels in by which they had reached her lair so that it appeared to be a natural cave-in. For the next dozen years, Orgloroasa observed the comings and goings of Thunderhome from afar by means of powerful divination magics and a network of hidden spies she summoned from the demi-plane of shadow. In the Year of Awakening, 1001 DR, Orgloroasa began to whisper dark thoughts in the dreams of High Old One Dagon, son of Belgen, blood of Yangark. Over the next 33 years, the ambitions of Thunderhome's High Priest of Dumathon grew, as did his madness and his obsession with death. He took to calling the voice in his head from the shadows the Sibilant Shade, a title which pleased Orgloroasa well. By following the advice of the ever-present whispers in the shadows, Dagon rose to a preeminent position in Thunderhome, second only to King Emerlin III. When the aging monarch died in his sleep shortly after the disappearance of his only child, the Crown Prince, on a trade mission to Selgaunt in the Year of Bloodsbane, that's 1034 DR, the Year of Bane's Brood, which is 1034, Dagon was quickly named Regent of Thunderhome. Both the king and the prince were victims of Orgloroasa's shadowy agents. Within months, construction was begun on a grand temple to Dumathon in the heart of Thunderhome. Over the next 20 years, Dagon's madness began manifesting publicly as he required more and more of the city's artisans to participate in construction of the temple and the extensive crypts beneath it. When all finally complete in the Year of Tolling Terrors, 1054 DR, in a grand ceremony of dedication attended by all the dwarves of Thunderhome, the Dwarven regent priest dedicated the temple complex to Null, not Dumathion, and named it Necropolis of the Worm. As the news of the unspeakable deed spread throughout the crowd, Dagon completed the unholy ritual by summoning the avatar of his new god, and Orgloroasa was loose in the city. Wow. She just tricked this priest into summoning her. She spent years. That is kind of awesome, I'm not gonna lie. In the chaos that followed, fewer than 30 dwarves escaped the maelstrom of evil that had been unleashed. Within a 10-day, Thunderhome was a lifeless city reeking of decay. Over the next few weeks, the Sibilant Shade hunted down and killed every single dwarf who escaped the carnage in Thunderhome, but she did not recover every magical runestone capable of revealing and opening the sealed gates of the Dwarven city. Several runestones still exist outside her hoard and are scattered across the realms, their true purpose often unknown by those who happen across them. 4 runestones have surfaced in recent times, and their current possessors are listed below. The Sembian Cult of the Dragon cell is believed to possess at least 1 and possibly 2 of the runestones. It was by means of the first runestone recovered by the wearers of the purple that Orgloroasa was originally contacted. A closely guarded secret of the Mistress of Stars of the Fall of Stars Adventurers Club in Harrowdale Town is an adventurer and since fallen member named Ortar found one of the missing runestones as well, and the key has facilitated numerous failed attempts by club members to meet the challenge of Oratar, described below. The Mistress of Stars accompanies each expedition to the Thunderhome to sunder the city's portals, and then she waits outside Thunderhome so that when the expedition fails, as they inevitably do, the runestone can be returned to the club's vaults until the next foolhardy attempt. Another runestone was recently purchased from a fisherman in Westgate by a band of adventurers known as the Seekers who, by chance, spotted the stone being used to scale fish and recognized its importance. The group is known to have set out from Serloon to find the lost city, but no word of their exploits has ever been revealed, even after their brief return. The Seekers were last headed east aboard the Widow's Ire, bound for Aglarond. Okay. The lost city of Thunderhome has been transformed into a vault of death. The stale and stagnant air reeks of death and loss. Immense halls and chambers supported by titanic pillars and cut from the heart of the living mountain have become magnificent sepulchres. Immense friezes depicting dwarven nobility and the daily lives of common folk stand as monuments to the long-dead inhabitants. Hordes of skeletal dwarven warriors, craftsfolk, and laborers wander the dusty vaults in twisted parody of their former lives. Well into the mountain's core stands a monstrous and ghastly edifice in the center of the cavern of flickering shadows. The necropolis of the worm resembles the towering Unthric ziggurats built in honor of Enil and then Gilgamesh ages ago. Groups of shadows and other denizens of the demiplane of shadow stalk the catacombs beneath the temple, their hunger eternally unassuaged. The venerable shadow dragon lich, Orglorasa, sleeps haunted dreams in a bed of shadow stuffs in the temple's center chapel amidst a flickering tapestry of wards, gates, and lurking traps. Orglorasa claims only Thunderhome for herself, but she pays little heed to the competing claim of rival worms with territorial ambitions in the Thunder Peaks region. The Sibilant Shade has driven off or killed every dragon who dared challenge her passage in the region, and is now warily ignored and or avoided by potential rivals, young upstarts alike. Some younger worms, such as Thraxata, pay the Elder Dragonlich annual tribute for the privilege of remaining alive. Thraxata is a young red dragon who lairs atop the Bloodhorn, the great mountain crag overlooking the ruins of Sesrendale. Others, most notably the mature red dragon Nevalarich, will serve Orgloriosa whenever she demands. Nevalarich also lairs in the southern Thunder Peaks and is becoming well known for his frequent raids on ships traversing the neck. Effectively, Orgloriosa is the greater power keeping Nevalarich in check that some in Azun's court have speculated must exist. Before becoming Dragonlich, Orgloriosa used to hunt extensively throughout the horse farms of Kulta and amongst the red sheep herds of the Thunder Peaks, and she still occasionally preys on the wyverns of Wyvernfang at the eastern end of Highdale to keep their population in check. The Sibilant Shade rarely ventures farther west than the vast swamp or further north than the Thunder Gap, although her reasons for avoiding the Forest Kingdom and the former lands of the Elven Court are unknown. In practice, Orgloriosa considers all of Archendale, Sembia, Tasseldale, Featherdale, Scardale, Highdale, and the southern Thunder Peaks as her sphere of influence, and she has extensive network of cultists and independent agents at her disposal throughout these lands. While she does not seek to directly control this territory, the Sibilant Shade actively seeks to manipulate events in the region to her designs and gradual enrichment. Okay, so I'm going to read, there's 2 more pages. I just wanted to check because I do have to go to work eventually. I have to leave here by 4, and then, it's 3:30 now, I have to leave here by 4, and then wait so I can catch the bus, and then wait for however long, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how early the bus is, which is unreliable for the shift to start, and then it's a whole thing. Orgloriosa was born in the year of the Black Dawn, 426, to Shuhu Mansuhuru, who later preceded her in dragon lichdom with the aid of the cult. Orgloriosa sulked about her mother's domain in the far hills for nearly 2 centuries before she established her first lair in the southwestern Thunder Peaks in the year of Ensorcelled Kings, which is 616 DR, in her 190th year. Orgloriosa's arrival was noted by elven rangers from Cormanthir and dwarven scouts from Thunderhome, but neither nation chose to challenge her newly claimed demons at the time, much to their later regret. Orgloriosa's relative quiescence and the tumult that shook the Heartlands in the following century moved her from the concerns of all but the most ardent dragon hunters, who never managed to even engage her in battle, and she slowly forgotten about most inhabitants of the surrounding region. Although her subterfuge resulting in the fall of Thunderhome is probably Orglorasa's greatest triumph, the Silaban Shade has been the architect behind countless shadowy campaigns in the merchant kingdom of Sembia and the surrounding lands. The Night Knives, an autonomous band of thieves active in Sirlun, Selgant, and Ermlespur, have inflamed more than one merchant war at Orglorosa's hidden direction, including the near-disastrous 3-year-long civil war that threatened to tear Sembia asunder from the Year of Silent Steel through the Year of Raging Flame until the end of the Year of Dusty Throne. That's 1254 to 1256. With the death of 3/4 of the ruling council and 2 successive overmasters. The apparent failure of the campaign by the wearers of purple to infiltrate and control Featherdale after their defeat in the Battle of the River Rising in the Year of the Lion, which is 1340, was the truth an elaborate and mostly successful ploy by Orgloroasa to dispose of the meddlesome Mizzentool, crafter of the 7 Lost Rings and scribe of Mizzentool's runes, and obtain the Archmage's Library of Arcane Lore for her own perusal. Dang, okay, she's got like schemes within schemes. Orgloroasa particularly enjoys attacking ships, through her network of agents whose owners fail to pay her proper tribute. Only the most senior leaders of the Dragon's far-flung protection racket have any idea that Orgloroasa is the power behind their extortionist threats. Ship owners are simply made aware that those who fail to pay proper tribute frequently disappear. Orglorosa's favorite hunting grounds are located near the mouth of the Lake of Dragons, in the relatively narrow strait known as the Neck. However, before preying on ships, the Silaban Shade always assumes the guise of Navaralrich, who is already known to hunt in the region. Orgloroasa has been spotted off the coast of Westgate at least twice in her true form, and the Ballad of the Shadow Storm, popular in that city prior to the death of King Verovan, refers to her plundering and sinking of treasure-laden Winsome Worm just outside the harbor of the Year of Watery Graves, which is 1091. During one such visit, Orgloroasa considered seizing Westgate outright during Verovan's reign, but the fate of Galathos, dragon ruler of Termish, in the Year of the Purple Basilisk, 1247, reaffirmed her practice of wielding power from the shadows. Some 70 winters ago, in the Year of the Claw, which is 1299, the Silaban Shade clashed at least once with Arngalor, an adult black dragon of exceptional size who laired in the heart of the mine at the head of the river Arkin. Prior to battle, Orgloroasa cloaked herself in the guise of a blue dragon, and then she flew into Arkandale, blaring her challenge. When Arngalor foolishly came forth to do battle, the great dragonlich tore him to shreds after a long and terrible fray still known to Arkin folks as the Dragon War. Only slightly injured, Orgloroasa maintained her disguise and flew off raggedly to the west as if gravely hurt. She then returned via subterranean tunnels to plunder Arngalor's hoard before it could be recovered by enterprising Arkinfolk or other worms. The continuing efforts of the cult of the dragon to locate Arngalor's lost hoard are of some great amusement to Orgloroasa, and the shadowy sacred one is not yet let the wearers of the purple in on her decades-old ruse. In recent years, Orgloroasa has ensured a steady stream of sacrifices through an unusual ploy involving the Fall of Stars Adventurers Guild in Harrowdale Town. Orgloroasa expelled a hapless adventurer by the name of Orter, who stumbled across the Thunderhome to return his far-off comrades with a conveniently provided runestone and issue what would come to be known as, in the club, as the Challenge of Oritar. Seek out the great shadowy worm who lairs beneath the peaks of thunder, and return triumphant bearing aloft her fabled Eye of Shadow if you be true adventures of lore. Ever since the expelled Orator issued his challenge, a steady stream of magical might, born in tasty snacks, has enlivened the gloom of Thunderhome. Orator returned 4 times to Thunderhome so Orgloroasa could renew the spells which she had ensnared him. Each time, save the last, he returned to mock his comrades and spur them on to further foolishness. His death now stands as a permanent monument to the foolish goal in pursuit of which so many rash adventurers have thrown their lives away. Orglorasa employs a wide variety of unusual and unique dragon spells and magical items due to her status as an analyst and member of Null's clergy, with an emphasis in her draconic spell ability on spells and effects from the School of Necromancy and the School of Shadow Magic. Makes sense. Orglorasa is known frequently employ the uncommon draconic spells Shadow, Scry, and Shadow Dragon. Simian cultists, and as a result, Harper infiltrators, have learned that at least 3 rare or unique spells employed by the Silaban Shade: Sharp Wings, Shadow Serpents, and Project Shadow. The means by which Orglorasa assumes the shape and hue of other dragons and maintains the guise in battle has yet to be unveiled, but likely related to the draconic spell Scale Shift. Shadow magic is described in Player's Options Skills and Powers and Player's Options Spells and Magic. A majority of the spells in the School of Shadow Magic overlap with either or both of the School of Illusion or the School of Necromancy. Shadow magic focuses on magic having to do with shadow stuff and the demiplane of shadows. In addition to her command of priest and wizard spells, used as a dragon spellcaster, verbal-only spell components, and casting times of 1, a Silaban Shade is believed to possess a trove of magical items, many of which she has learned to employ. Some of her most treasured items of magic include the Circlet of the Worm, presented to her by the Cult of the Dragon, and the Wing Armor, forged by Dwarven slaves kidnapped and brought to Thunderhome by the cult at her direction. Sharp Wind is a 2nd level wizard spell, alteration. It's 1d4 plus 2 rounds. 1 pair of dragon's wings. The spell is favored by dragons well skilled in the use of their wings to buffet opponents. The spell alters the spell-casting dragon's wings so as to make the leading edge of each wing as sharp as a well-honed blade and as strong as steel. It is not possible to visually observe the blade's edge, but anyone who touches the frontmost ridge of the affected dragon's wing notes the deadliness of this magical effect. In melee, prior application of a sharp swing incantation doubles the normal base damage inflicted by wing buffeting. The damage is increased to the equivalent of twice a normal claw attack. The chance to knock a creature prone on successful wind buffet is unaffected by the spell, so you can still knock people over, but you can also stab them or slash at them with your wings because the leading edge is sharp, which is kind of cool. You got Shadow Serpents, 1 day per level, maximum of 10 days. By means of this spell, spellcasters create a horde of tiny serpents composed wholly of shadow stuff. The number of shadow serpents is created is 10d8 plus the caster's level, maximum of 100. Each shadow serpent is semi-autonomous and cannot be destroyed except by means of a dispel magic spell or similar incantation, or by exposing them to direct bright light with no area of shadow or darkness within 5 feet of their current location. Shadow serpents are not intelligent, nor are they actually alive or even physical beings, and they have no attacks or defense. Shadow serpents by nature flit about mindlessly, never leaving the area of shadow or total darkness, and all the while observing everything that goes on around them. Shadow serpents have an effective movement rate of 36, but only if directed by the spellcaster. Otherwise, they mill about in one location, typically in circles or spheres of approximately 30 foot in radius. A spellcaster can direct his or her horde of serpents collectively, but not individually. For example, a spellcaster could direct the entire group of shadow serpents to create his or her incantation to explore a house, a room, an alley, follow a specific person, but the spellcaster could not direct a subset of the entire group to do one task while another group to do something different. By means of the spell, spellcasters can scry seen from afar through the myriad of eyes of his or her shadow serpents. Unlimited range, but always within the same plane of existence. Okay. However, the constantly shifting and overlapping images preclude easy comprehension of what is being observed. As a result, in any given round, there is a percentage chance equal to the number of serpents in existence that the caster can discern what is being observed from the myopic montage. Oh, so if it's 100 maximum, and it's a percent based on number. So if you have 80, you get an 80% chance of being able to see what's going on. That makes sense. Alright. Casting Shadow Serpents lasts until the spellcaster wills it to cease, the spell duration expires, or all the serpents have been destroyed. Some claim that the faint sound of slithering serpents can be heard in an enclosed area infested with shadow serpents, but others claim this is madness. So maybe you can hear, maybe not. Project Shadow is a 6th level wizard spell. Alteration Shadow Magic. It's 10 yards per level, and a round per level, and it's an action casting time. Project Shadow must be cast while the spellcaster is within region of shadow or darkness. It's a shadow magic variant of the more commonly known Project Image spell. Like the latter incantation, this spell enables the spellcaster to create a duplicate of himself, projecting it into any spot within the spell's range. Unlike a Project Image spell, however, Project Shadow creates a duplicate only of the spellcaster's shadow. The shadow performs actions decided by the spellcaster, walking, speaking, spellcasting, conforming to the actual actions of the spellcaster's shadow unless he or she concentrates on making an act differently, in which case the spellcaster is limited to half movement and no attacks. Note that the spells can be cast through the projected shadow and function as if it had been cast while the spellcaster is in the projected shadow's location. So you can use it to extend the range of spells, essentially, or... Whereas Project Image spell is commonly employed to deceive opponents into believing they are facing the spellcaster's physical form, a Project Shadow spell is rarely effective in this fashion. Instead, it is commonly used to hide within regions of darkness or shadow so as to surprise an opponent or conceal the spellcaster's identity when he or she needs to parley with potentially dangerous opponents. A predicted shadow can be dispelled only by means of a successful dispel magic spell, exposure to direct bright light, or upon command from the spellcaster. Although their attacks pass harmlessly through it. A predict shadow spell may be cast through any scrying device. It may also be cast through any scrying device, whether it be physical, such as a crystal ball, or magical effects, such as created by magical font or the Shadow Serpent spell. But additional spells cast do not pass through the scrying device. The image must be within view of the spellcaster projecting it at all times, whether scryed or observed directly, and if her sight is obscured for any reason, the spell is broken and dispelled. Unlike a project image spell, whether or not the wizard is invisible at the time of spellcasting has no effect on the projected shadow. If the spellcaster uses Dimension Door, Teleport, Plane Shift, or a similar spell that breaks his or her line of vision, the projected shadow ends immediately. Orgla as Orgla Orasa slowly extends her influence throughout Sembia over the cult cell based in the Merchant Kingdom, she is drawing increased attention of both her existence and her elaborate machinations, despite the shadows in which she cloaks her every plot. Given her long history of deception, Orgla Orasa seems likely to attempt to reverse this unwanted increasing attention within a decade or two. Oberys, the Raven Master, Hierophant druid active in the Thunder Peaks region, speculates that she might even stage her own death so as to further withdraw into the shadows. So, that is Orgla Orasa. She's really cool. Kind of awesome. It is also 3:45 though, and I need to be at the bus stop in 15 minutes to catch the bus, and I need to get dressed, and I need a whole host of other things, and sorry I started so late, and I'm glad we got new people, in, and Friday's our day for fun stuff, so hopefully you thought this was fun. I might do another one and do more, reading from the, AD&D thing about the Dragon Liches, because that's kind of cool. Some other Friday, maybe. Yeah. In any case, thank you for coming and watching. My name is Lee, still. Didn't change throughout the course of the stream. I always appreciate it. At some point, we're gonna, I don't know, my next stream, probably not gonna stream Sunday. Well, definitely not gonna stream Sunday. Probably not Monday either. So my next stream is likely Tuesday. Mid-afternoon kind of vibe. So, yeah, my next stream is on Tuesday. I am, maybe Monday afternoon, depending on, we'll do like a special good afternoon Greyhawk as opposed to a good morning Greyhawk. We'll have to see when I get back, because I also have work then. But yeah, thank you for coming. Stream on Tuesday. You guys are all awesome. And, I'm gonna raid quick. I always do a raid. Let's raid. We're gonna raid Brush for Hire. He's pretty cool. He's an artist who does cool art stuff, paints minis and such. So, pop in, say hi, and off we trot. Thank you all for hanging out with me.